Hey guys, Neil here, and just doing weekly wrap. And um, what we're doing today is we're going to do a Friday review, which is basically what a weekly wrap is in a lot of ways, because it takes you back over the week that you've been in. And a Friday review actually looks back across the week and sees how well we've done. But so I'm just going to take you through the master plan theory side of it. So this is master plan theory happening to you at the moment. So what a Friday review is in office terms, and we're in Oscar's office at the moment, and that's basically what I'm talking about, is an office review of things. And what a Friday review is you sort of look back upon your work week. I know in carpentry it was pretty easy if you come to Friday afternoon and the week was over, because if you put a frame up in that week, you could actually see the frame standing and you could see the work that you've done. If you started at the beginning of the week and it was up by the end of the week, you could stand back and look at it, so you'd know without a shadow of doubt what work you've done. But it's a bit different, your Friday review, when you're a knowledge worker in your office, like so your office work has got a parallel with what's actually happening. Otherwise, what you're writing down in your office and what you're saying in your office and what you're doing in your office, if it hasn't got real work happening with it, it's only just writing it down. So what I've done is I've put together a system for getting through the work week, and I'll briefly show it to you. Well, basically, this is the master of it all. Is the diary. Like, this is a master planner's diary, and on it I have such things as master. I start up there and I usually have a prophecy for the day written up there. I'll get these from a guy called Doug Addison. Now, do you have to have a prophecy for the day? No, but I suggest you have some sort of good word, even a scripture for the day. I really like using Doug Addison's words, because you're not putting super much weight on, this is going to happen because it's a prophecy. It's not like that. It's a word to encourage you in the Lord, and to highlight you into things that might happen during that day, or that Doug feels is happening for the body of Christ for that day. Also, I always write down now as one thing needful. Now, very often I don't get that one thing needful for the day, but I always write it in there and I leave space for it, because what happens is, during the course of a day, very often I discover what that one thing needful is, and very often I've done it. And so it's so great to put it in there when I realise that I've actually sort of scored on that day and done well, you know what I mean? So I haven't had a dot day. I've actually done something that's significant in a spiritual sense, and that is big, to do the one thing needful. If you remember, Mary was at the feet of Jesus, and that was the one thing that was needful. Later on, Mary fulfilled that one thing needful for sitting at the feet of Jesus so many times by breaking an alabaster box over Jesus' feet, and wherever the story of the gospel went, so did the story of Mary. So that's a wonderful thing, to do the one thing needful, and there's a great spiritual significance with it. So I've got that in there. There's always today's sacred space too, and that's something that God shows you from His Word, or something necessary for that day, and God's encouraging you, or something that you see, a rhema, a revelation. So they're the type of things. But I also put in notes and quotes. Sometimes there's something worthwhile noting. And here's a quote that I wrote in, and it's probably a quote worth noting, but it's I heard it somewhere, and it said, "Sacred cows make the best hamburgers." Think it true. It's true, and when sacred cows make the best hamburgers, and I thought that was pretty good quote, so I kept that. So that's basically the master planner's diary. And that's the gold. No, it's gold. That's gold standard. I'll keep that every year. But the next book I use, really, so I can look through that for yearly review, and and as well as a Friday review sort of thing. But that's not the book I do my Friday reviews in, but that's going to come up soon. This book here is what I call the Bungle List. The Bungle book, actually, not the Bungle List, the Bungle book. And it's got a bungle list on every day, and I use it specifically because it has every day numbered, and you can put the stuff you get. This is how I started it off. I started off trying to put stuff in this column here, but this year I really perfected it. I've moved it into doing a sort of like a big column down here for the hard landscape, so I've got plenty of room to write stuff and where I've got to be. So normally I only got to write stuff, and that's a phone call with Casey, and that's a walk that I had to be on. So I wrote those things down there. But over on this side here, I've got the bungle list. They're the things that I had to do in the office that day, and so I wrote them down and did them. They're the things that I must do, sort of, or can do during the day, and I can bungle them around. And that's how I use the bungle list. And notice how here on the bungle list here I had to be in one place. I had to be one place there where my thumb is. But on the bungle list I was here all day, and I was writing, and I did all those things, and I eventually crossed one thing out. I actually did that thing, and that's why I crossed it out. When I've done something in the bungle book, on the bungle list page, I cross it out altogether. I don't want to see it again. That's the type of record it is. It's sort of like a passing record, whereas this one here is the sort of more eternal sort of thing, because it's to deal with my spiritual life. There's probably one here I want to show you. That's sort of like, no, that's just sort of like pay bills and get things done, sort of thing like that. That's midweek. I had to really get cracking that week, if I remember correctly. Get a few bills paid. But now we're coming towards the end of the year. It's like this day here I was probably away most of the day. See how it tracks all the way down to there, whereas I've only got one little thing here in on the day to do. Well, I've ended up doing that. Notice how I tick things through. This is a Saturday, and I tick things when they're done, but I cross them out when I don't want to see them ever again. And the reason I cross them out and don't want to see them again is because I know they're taken care of. They're either done or they're in my trusted system. And there's a big difference. Done and dusted is different to being in your trusted system. So down here is what I do on Sundays, is I put everything there in the Sunday, and I should probably cross those out because they're all done now, and I'm actually on the Saturday. I'm doing a Friday review today. I'm actually one day behind. So it is a Saturday today, and this is where I am now, and I should have done a Friday review there. I've actually got that down there to do that, and I didn't do it. But this is what I want to show you. This here is what I do when I do a Friday review. I either move it to the next. When I do one of these days, I either move it to the next day to do, or if I can't do it that next day, I'll move it to the next Monday if it's not too far away. Or what I tend to do too is, if I'm not getting around to the project, I put it to the next month, which is December the 1st. But I normally do it on a Monday. I've got it here on a Tuesday because I broke my own rules, because they're not hard rules. They're rubber rules, in the sense that that you do what works. So I'm doing that one on a Tuesday instead of a Monday. I could probably do that on the 30th, but I like to put it in the next month. So that's what I do there. And also, I found that towards the end of the year, now that I've got this system of moving the bungle list forward, and this is part of the Friday review. See how I've got that there? That's notes. That's for next year, because that's right at the very end of the diary. So I'm not going to get these things done this year. If I get through the list of the things that I've got there, I might go to here and find some other stuff to do. But this is how you move through your year, through from day to day. You do it on a bungle list, and you keep a record of it, and you get rid of it as you've done it. You can keep other records if you want to keep records, but basically a line through it. It's done and dusted. You don't want to see it again, and that's the type of thing it is. Now, one of those things here was that I had on one of those pages was check. I had it there on one of the pages open. It was check the tides. Check the tides is a good idea, but that wasn't it. It's collect all diaries, and that's part of the review too. Now, I'm doing this over a long period of time, so because I've been master planning for so long, for a few years. I've actually got quite a few diaries and stuff set up before I knew that it would develop into master planning. So I've got all those diaries there, and I'm going to go through them, and I'm going to create a sacred space for every day, and a note and a quote and all that, so that I can fill out the diary as I come to it. It's sort of like one in every 7 years. So even though it's hit and miss, when I do my diary, it's sort of like hit and miss. Like you notice I've got a few pages there that, and a few lines that haven't got things written in and stuff like that. That's because I'm away or something like that, or the day's very uneventful in the sense that there's only one thing to do, the assignment of the day. End up at work, spend the whole day at work, so I don't get anything done, and nothing much is written in the bungle list except that I'm at a place or at a certain place, or I'm doing some certain thing, and so there's only one line written there. Whereas in the master planner's diary, there's quite a bit written because I spend that hour with the Lord in the morning. But even sometimes there, that gets today's sacred space. Sometimes I don't get that word. So by keeping all those diaries, I've got notes, I've got today's sacred spaces, I've got prophecies that I've had in the past that I can write in on that day. So all I have to do is check through my diaries, and then when I check through my diaries, I can fill out that day. So because I've got so many years there, even though I've got hit and miss, so like I can open up on the 1st of January on several diaries, and I can find something significant on the 1st of January to write down as today's sacred space, or today's word for the day, or today's quote for the day, or a note for the day. So I'm actually filling out the diary with the best of the past. So I'm creating a good future by the best, by looking back and thinking on those things that are good and wholesome and worthwhile, and putting them into the diary. So I think that's all I've got time for today. So I'll just call that the Friday Review, and I'll take you through this part of the Friday Review on another video. So that's a wrap. Okay, that's a weekly wrap. Okay, so I'll see you next time and next week here in the same place. Okay, God bless. See you next week.